Hey everyone, welcome back to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. We're here for part two with Felix Toussaint. He taught us so much in part one about just how to go get some new listings when you're brand new to real estate, and then his story about what brought him here today. Now I can't wait to get into this property management knowledge and because I mean just how he did his real estate stuff. I know he's definitely a quality person when he's taking care of his clients and their properties.
Yeah, man, Felix, the last episode was stellar. Like normally we get in kind of the meat and potatoes in episode 2, but you were giving so much awesome knowledge on people just like getting to know you that maybe your episode 1 and 2 will get record level streams. That is awesome. So yeah, you want to just keep it going, kind of talking about what life's looking like today with the property management?
Yeah, so right now, we started back, I would say in October of last year, and it's just been kind of friends and family, cool. Right? There's a lot of things that compliance-wise that I wanted to make sure was above board. Sweet. And I just didn't feel comfortable, bringing other people on that, would have expectations of me. Friends and family, they'd be like, hey, like, we know, we know you're just starting. And as long as we get our money, we're okay, right? Like, as long as we're getting our money. Sure. But I can understand with, outside of that, people not being like that. They expect certain documents at certain times and this and that. But now, we've gotten all that in a row. We are opening up to everybody else to be like, hey, like, we're here, we're in the area, we're managing properties, and this is what we can do for you.
Cool. What are some of those things that you do offer when you're managing people's properties?
So first thing I offer is I have like a tier system. Some property managers just want me to collect rent and make sure that that the tenant, I deal with the tenant. I charge them a lesser fee. I know a lot of times around here everybody has a flat fee, but I told myself, why charge an owner the same as this owner when this one expects more from me? And this one expects a lot less. So our management fee, it starts at about 9%, and that's the owners that want us to just collect rent and make sure they get their money. And then we have owners that want us to do multiple inspections and, things like that. And we just charge a higher amount. And they're okay with it. They know, because if they wanted less, they would get charged less, but they want some owners, especially like newer landlords, they're uneasy, right? Sure. And it makes them feel a lot better if you're in the house a little bit more, with the tenant, and making sure that nothing is getting too past gone that it can't be fixed and brought back to normal.
Man, I think that's really good. I feel the same way. I have just a couple properties, but they're all new. So it's like tiptoeing new construction, and that's something that Sam and I also we're getting ready to break ground on 3, an A, nice. B, and a C unit, but it's all new construction, right? And so it's like for me, there's a difference of like getting a heavily discounted that you throw some lipstick on and then you get it in versus, okay, we cleared the lot, we put in the utilities, we poured the slabs, we framed it up, we everything is new air conditioning, all
give me a beautiful virgin home.
Yeah. It's like I think having that tier system, is something really great, because the option that, let's just use that example. If Sam and I found a smoking deal on maybe like kind of a wholesale like B or C property, we might get it fixed up, rent ready in 6 weeks. And so I might want that lower package, right? Versus, we've been working on this deal to get started already for a year, and it's going to be about 6 months of construction, if not, plus or minus. So whenever we're done with that one, it's like, okay, I want some good tenants in there. I'm Felix that higher level place, because hopefully they stay not just 1 year. It's high turnover. They're like, wow, this is a brand new property. I'm going to stay 3, 4, 5 years. And then their tenants, like in 60 months, when we get out of there, it's not just beat really bad, it's still
Correct.
just 5 years.
Now we screen the tenants the same, whichever tier you pick.
Sure.
Whichever tier you pick, we screen them the same. It's just if you want us in there more, you want us to be more hands-on, we're
like
fine with it.
Quarterly checkups or things like that, where you're putting eyes on it, seeing that they're not just taking a couch and slamming it into the wall or whatever. They have an aquarium in there that busted and flooded the floors or whatever.
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the tier types and those offerings and what your was?
So right now they're really like 2% difference. And so we have the 9%, that's the bottom tier, nothing wrong with it. We have some owners that are there. They want us to collect rent. If there's not a tenant, get a tenant, screen them, and just make sure, we handle the deposit, because there's rules behind handling deposits. Just making sure that that's done. The middle tier, it's 11%, and what it does is it allows us to do an inspection, and we do quarterly drive-bys, right? So we're getting eyes on the property every quarter, and then we're going in the property once a year. And then the 13, we go by the property once a month, because typically when your tenant is, I would say, destroying the house, it starts to show on the outside pretty quick. And that's, driving for dollars, you find the distressed properties based on the outside. So you'll be able to tell really quick, like, hey, like this, there's probably something going on. We may need to go inside. So at that point, we'll give a notice, like, hey, here's your notice that we'll be coming in. And then we're doing quarterly inspections as well. And that's because the owner just, those are the owners that they want to be able to sleep at night. And that's the only way they're going to sleep at night, is if they know that their investment, many times it's typically military or first-time homeowners who couldn't sell, and they move back home, and they just want to make sure that it's time to sell. Their property's in perfect condition, and they're just willing to pay more for it. And, for them, they're like, yeah, but you're doing more, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good system. I haven't. Now on that, if someone had multiple properties, would there be like some negotiation there? Like, is there like
correct? Yeah. So if you have, right now, I don't know right now, because we're open to the public, we are kind of running like a little special. But right now we're doing. Let me remember this. So first, if you have 1 to 5 properties, we'll give you a % off for the whole year, whichever package you choose.
Cool.
Or the first 3 months, no management fee. And it's whatever you choose. And if you have 5 to 9 properties, it's 1 to 4, 5 to 9, we're going to stack those for you. So it's, you get 1% and 3 months off your first year. And then 10 or more, the 1% is for life. And then the first 3 months as well. And then we also stack that with military. So if you're military, we're giving 0.5% off for life. And then we call it the refined group. So anybody over 55 and older, we'll give you 0.5% off for life as well, because if you're a veteran, you're refined, you have 5 or more properties, whatever. We'll stack all of it. We're not going to like pick and choose. But right now, that's kind of where we are at in terms of multi-family discounts as an introductory rate as we try to grow. And then from there, we'll figure out, all right, like, we're not trying to do this introductory rate. Like, what can we do ongoing to kind of to keep growing?
No, that's awesome, Felix. And for the listeners here, this was of the time of the recording, right? So like,
correct. We're going to say through 2025.
Yeah. No, so we'll keep that through 2025.
Yes.
So based off this, this release, if you're listening to this in 2026, just going back and checking out our episode.
Call me. If you call me and you said you heard me on this podcast, I'll probably honor it.
Oh, okay. That is
man.
He is putting that out there.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Great for our listeners. Take advantage of this lifetime deal if you mentioned that you heard it on this podcast.
Correct. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's all awesome, man. So with that foundation laid and your unique style to build and create growth and to really help investors, what does this look like for the business? and like your growth trajectory, and what do you feel comfortable with, like properties per employee? Like, what's
Yeah.
that?
So yeah, right now it's me and Nick, my business partner,
Mhm.
and we comfortably feel good up to about 100. So we're nowhere near 100, but that's where we feel like we can manage and kind of still be out there trying to grow. Anything more than 100, we'll definitely be bringing on a property manager to help kind of split the workload. Nick will still be responsible for maintenance. That will allow us to. So our goal is to keep maintenance in house.
Mhm.
We have no issues with outside maintenance, but then you're on their timeline,
Right.
and we want to be able to kind of control costs for the owners and the speed of work. We feel like if the tenants are seeing that things are getting done fast, that they're not just another paycheck, but that we actually do care about them, and we want them to have that whatever that broke in working order as soon as possible. Now, if it needs a license, then we're not going to touch it, only because if the owner decides to sell in the future, we want them to have the proper paperwork to not be held up in escrow or closing because we decided to play MacGyver just to save them some money, right?
Yeah.
So
we've talked about that on previous episodes to make sure you're using someone licensed for
correct.
everything needing to be licensed, because
Correct.
yeah, especially on roofing permits is what we use.
Yeah.
Example.
Yeah. Like imagine paying for a roof and then no permits. So now you have to pay for it again. Right.
Yeah.
Not saying that it wasn't done right, but you're literally going to have to pay for it again.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. So what other types of services, like if I'm new and I want to get a property manager, or
Mhm.
I have my one primary and I'm looking to buy another one, but I'm not really sure what to do.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to sell it. What is the benefit of getting a property manager? And like, do you take the pictures of my
Mhm.
house and then list it online? And how do you vet client? Like, what are some of those things that you kind of do outside of the service tiers? Like, what are
Yeah.
those services that you guys
So regardless of what service you get, we market the home, right? We make sure the home is going to be rent ready, because the goal is the condition that they see the home in is a condition they move into it. So when they send us, the application, they pay an application fee. Like they understand, like I really do like this house and I like everything about the house. So let me go ahead and send in that application. So coaching owners through that, making sure like, hey, like we got to get the home rent ready. So when they see it, like this is what they're getting. There's no, bait and switch or anything like that. And we know when they paid that $50 application fee that they're serious, and then they know we're serious because that's the home. That's the way we presented the home. And then so with marketing, we photo. We make sure that it has to be. So when you're showing a home, so my business partner is not our agent, so he can't go show houses. So you have to be an agent to show houses, regardless. If let's say I hire a property manager, they can't show home unless they're licensed. So going to the house, showing it to them, seeing if it's a good fit. You can kind of ask them some questions, like just to kind of, be able to lead them down the path. If it's a 3-bedroom, you're going to have pets, things like that. Be like, yeah, this is pet friendly, to kind of sell the home to them. And then from there, we screen the tenant. After we screen the tenant, if they check all of our criteria, they're good to go, pay deposit, and then they move in. We have a program within our company that we subscribe to for our tenants, because our goal, like I said, once again, with the property management, is to have that sphere, is to eventually they become homeowners, right? Like you don't want them to stay renters forever. So if they become homeowners, some of the things we do is we have a credit building platform that our tenants, and by building, if they have a late payment, like we're not gonna put a late payment on their credit. But if they're making on-time payments, those will always reflect and allow them their credit to show, okay, these people are good with keeping their commitments, which will allow them to later, hopefully move into our other sphere of real estate and, kind of just keep the cycle going.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
I said, that's awesome. I think that you mentioned something that maybe some of the listeners are interested in you have to be an agent to show these homes and to kind of sell them. So if I'm an agent and I want to get into property management, and I'm not actually selling homes, how do I make money with property management as an agent?
Yeah, so I've heard it done two ways. So right now I don't have agents doing that, but I've heard it done two ways where you can pay like I guess a commission
Uh-huh.
to your agents. You pay them a percentage of the income you get in that's they're managing,
Sure.
right? And then the other is you just pay them a salary, and they're responsible for doing all of what's asked for them for
Sure.
this for that group of homes.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So what's the next 12 months look like for Pelican Property Management Services?
Yeah, so the goal for us is to just grow. Our goal this year is we like to have 50 doors under management. We want to grow fast. We also want to have like solid foundation. Like we want to have good owners. We want to make sure that the expectations are clear and that we're not saying one thing and they hearing another thing. And we want to make sure that the homes that we get, they're not here today, kind of gone tomorrow. Like they're going to be, what kind of builds that lays that foundation. And then obviously we'd love to get the brokerage going.
You're building that portfolio. Okay. Correct. So brokerage is in the 2025 goals.
Yeah. So our goal is to get the brokerage open. And I would say I like to teach people real estate, because it's one thing to be an agent and just facilitate deals, but having done deals, like I really want agents that I can like get their mindset. Like you want to be owners. Like how can we do that? Like how can we get you to where you're the landlord, like you're the owner? But in order to do that, got to get the property management up.
No, I love it. I love it. So that's a big 12 months, 50 properties, open up a brokerage, you're building teams.
Now my goal for the brokerage is like 5 agents. Like it's not, nothing crazy, just, 5 agents.
I mean, that seems pretty solid to me. That's 5, that's 5 more employees than right now. So that's awesome. So then what's like the lifetime goal or the end goal look like for Felix? Not necessarily Pelican property management, but like for you and where you see this thing can go.
Yeah. So growing up, when, I grew up with a single mom. I had a stepdad, but it wasn't long, but I grew up with a single mom for the most part. And one of the things that, like, one of my goals is to kind of get into like, a space where I can fund, I would say like a nonprofit idea for me is to where I can kind of mentor, kids that are, either mostly single family homes that don't have that kind of mentor that kind of can show them that vision. I lived in when I first moved to Pensacola, I lived in it's a neighborhood called Lincoln Park. It's not the greatest. It's pretty rough, but it's what I could afford to buy, and I wasn't renting. So I was like, hey, like I'm doing it. And you see kids with potential, but then you see them get kind of put back down by their parents. Like, hey, you're never going to be good. You're never going to be great. This and that. And the biggest thing with it for me is like, if I can, get that going, I can focus on this where I can like show a lot of these kids that don't see it, get them in rooms where they're with doctors and, electricians and plumbers and, getting their hands on this stuff and being like, yeah, I could do this. I can see myself doing this in the future. Teaching them basic life skills, changing oil, stuff like that, where it's like, growing up, I didn't have that person. So it's like to kind of be that person for a lot of kids is kind of my goal into why I'm doing this, to kind of fund that.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that'd be a tremendous lifetime goal. And I mean, what a quality way to, give back, to the community.
Correct.
No, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
What do you think that a couple things that like kind of lead to your success, and that have like kind of pushed the boundaries for you and for people, that maybe we have a listener that falls in that category. We're trying to really, get out on YouTube and do some shorts and things that the younger generation will catch their attention? Like what's something that you kind of did that separated you and that maybe someone needs to hear?
For me, I'm not really on those platforms yet. My goal is to get there. Is just have tough skin, right? Like you're gonna constantly get rejected. You're gonna go to somebody, try to pitch yourself, and they're gonna say no, but not letting it get to you. Just be like, it's all right. You're one step closer to a yes. That really is anybody that feels like, man, like I'm just not making it. You gotta have tough skin. You gotta say, you know what, like. Social media many times only shows you highlights. They don't show you people getting the rejections and getting the door slammed in their face. And you gotta keep pushing past it, because the next door you knock on, whatever, it could be a yes. And if you gave up before you knocked on that door, what could have been is never now, because you gave up and you didn't have that tough skin. So definitely just keep going. Don't give up, and whatever however hard you work for something, you'll get that back in return.
No, I think that's really awesome, man. You're wise beyond your years. You're giving some good advice, and if you guys didn't listen in Felix's first episode, definitely check it out, because he talks. He's not just talking the talk; he walked the walk. Like he has specific examples that he was knocking on doors. Just trying to create his name organically and making that happen, so I know that
I'm still hung up on him telling about printing off the CRMs like in his car.
Good.
Yeah, so that is gold for everyone listening.
Yeah, so definitely check out that last episode when he goes into like how he got started being a real estate agent. I mean, super cool. So
yeah. So on the kind of some on advice and stuff, what's your favorite book, or you can even go up to top 3 favorite books that kind of helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah.
I like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Obviously, that kind of is everyone's go-to book, but it is really good. I also like Richest Man in Babylon.
Great book.
I was actually neighbors with his granddaughter, the author.
Really?
I like had to go look at it, because when she told me that, I was like, no way. And then it's like,
it's an awesome book.
But yeah, I've read it too. It's a great book.
Yeah, and then Never Split the Difference. I mean, these are, I know, typical books, but they're awesome books to read, and if you're trying to hone in your skills with real estate and business, obviously if it's for life, it's going to be the Bible for me. Like that's just everything that we need to know or going to need to know is going to be in there when it comes to life, spiritual. But those 3 books, if you're talking real estate and business, are going to be my 3 books.
Man, I love it. And there's I would definitely have seen a lot of people who've been very successful also have a strong belief in their faith, and you can definitely tell there's a tie that goes hand in hand with that success.
Correct. Yeah,
a lot of just having discipline, understandings, being good to people, so man, this has been a lot of fun. Felix, I can't thank you enough. We always ask this question in closing. So if a listener wanted to get into property management and do what you've done so far, open up their own company, what's some advice that you would give to them if they were starting today?
I would say just try to find someone that is currently in the field.
Okay.
And if you can work, now I didn't do it this way, and with property management, definitely with flipping. But if you can work with them, kind of learn how they do it. And if it's something you really want to get into, if it just because you seen a video or, you watch, Selling Sunset and it just shows you commission check. I mean, those people work really hard for those commission checks. So it's not all sunshine and roses. Like get with them, learn the nitty gritty of the business, whatever it is that you want to get into, obviously property management, and see if you will like it when you're not, the owner. I think if you'll like it as not the owner, chances are you will as an owner.
No,
that's awesome. Felix, where's the best place for people to get in touch with you or to learn more about, your company and, if they want to retain you for your services? And just to be clear, we don't want to say short. I know you're in the Escambia County area. Is that your concentration of where you're doing the property management?
So Escambia, Santa Rosa right now, and Okaloosa. That's the goal is to eventually be in the whole state. But right now it's those three areas.
Awesome.
Perfect. And where can people reach out? You can get in touch with you either to hire you as a property manager or just to, talk to you about the show.
So my cell phone, right? I keep it on me and I will answer it. Can I give it on here? Or?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get 1 million calls.
Correct. So 850-417-3247, 850-417-3247. You can call, text. I will respond. I like talking real estate. Like for me, this is fun. And if it's not about property management, I'll still talk real estate with you if it's flipping, whatever. Maybe I can help you analyze the deal. Now, obviously, I just show numbers. I'm no genie. I'll just show you the numbers, and what you do with it is what you do with it.
Yeah, Felix, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there right now that Will and I will take any perfect burrs, and we will use you as our property manager here in any of those counties that you mentioned.
Nice.
If it's a perfect burr deal where we can buy it, pull our money back out like that. If you find it for us and send it our way, we will 100% use you as our property manager. So
got it.
Help us find those burrs, and we will stack you up and help you get that 50 properties this year.
Yes, sir.
Man. For sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And Sam, where can everybody find us?
Yeah, so check us out at the eliterealestatepodcast.com. That's our website. We're going to be putting out more and more information on there, so definitely check us out on the eliterealestatepodcast.com. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Elite Real Estate Podcast. We're trying to build that up. And then if you want to get in touch with me personally, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Sam_FloridaMan, or come see me at one of my Clean Eats locations. Those are all located in the Panhandle and as well as Mobile as well.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Clean Eats, always allowing us to get awesome quality guests, putting this awesome podcast together. So it's been a lot of fun. And then big shout out to Pelican Property Management and Felix. This has been just an awesome couple episodes. So make sure you guys listen to all of episode 1. Obviously, if you're at this point, you've listened to episode 2. So yeah, big thanks. So appreciate all of you guys supporting the channel, and Felix, awesome episode.
We hope you have a killer year, and we will have to follow up with you again next year. And then,
yes, sir.
Like I said, help us find some good bird deals, man, and you'll be our property manager.
Yeah, everyone on the podcast listening will vouch. So you got it. We'll use you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate everyone listening to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. Again, please check out our website, the eliterealestatepodcast.com. And we can't wait to see you guys next week for the next episode. So thank you for tuning in.